Hello all and welcome to my channel DevOps Mela. This is Rohit Singh and welcome to my series interview question with practical solution series. So based on your request, I have come up with the other part wherein I'll be covering Terraform scenario based interview questions with practical solutions. So let me reiterate again. I'll not be asking what is Terraform, what is infrastructure as a code and things like that. Such basic questions you can easily find it on Google. So we'll focus on practical questions. We'll focus on even if it's a simplest question, I'll be wrapping it up in a practical solution, in a scenario-based solution, and you have to think before answering. Okay. And if you guys are new to this channel, if you have not seen this video, if not seen my interview questions video, please go and check my interview question playlist. I have multiple uh, parts already done wherein I have covered Azure DevOps. And if you guys are existing subscribers, please put down your views and comments in the comment box and let me know what else you need from me. Okay, that's it from me. Let's start with the interview questions. Okay, the first question is explain core Terraform end-to-end workflow to deploy and delete resources in cloud. Don't focus on Azure or AWS. It could be same for other cloud providers as well. GCP, the workflow will not change. So this workflow, it seems it's a very easy question, okay, but it's if you go for a DevOps interview and if they're asking Terraform related question, this is the first question, and 80 to 90% this is the question they will definitely ask. So how do we tackle such question? What exactly is the flow, and how do we talk about the flow in front of the interviewers? Let's see that. Okay, so if I'm talking about Terraform flow, I'm not talking about how you write the configuration. I'm talking about the exact step which you will take from writing the configuration, from initializing till applying the configuration, and later destroying it. Okay, so the very first step is about write. So in short, you're writing your configuration. So let's go back to my IDE. Okay, so this is IDE VS Code in which I have already have a configuration written. So this is what I'm talking about, writing a configuration wherein I have a Terraform provider and I'll be deploying this on Azure RM. So Azure Cloud. So that is the reason I'm using Azure RM as my provider. Then I'm just creating a simple resource group inside a mod. Even I have a module, and using this module, it's an open source module. You can easily find it on Terraform Cloud. On the Terraform registry. So using this module, I'm just creating a simple resource group. So this is what I'm talking about, writing a configuration. The second thing is init, initializing working directory containing Terraform configuration files. So basically going ahead and initializing this working directory. Okay, so what happens, this provider file will get downloaded first in that working directory. So when I go ahead and do a initialize, a .terraform file will be created, a hidden file will be created, and in that there would be two files which will be added. Once this provider file, and plus I'm even using a module, even this module file will get downloaded. Okay, how exactly it is done, let me show you. Okay, I think I've already ran Terraform init, and if you see a .terraform file was created, let's go and look into that file. Okay, now if you see this, I have a module file and I have a provider information. So this is what happens when you run the command terraform init. Okay, it will start initializing your directory. So it's already there, so it will not do it again for me. Okay, so now the next is validate. So by running this command terraform validate, it will validate Terraform configuration file for synthetical and internal consistency. So synthetical is nothing but it will check for syntax. If there's any syntax error or things like that, that will go and fix those for you automatically. So that is what, or if there is any error, it will throw that error that there's a syntax error, and it will make sure that your configuration are consistent. Okay, That is what the validate will do. So simply you can do run the command terraform validate. Okay, that is the third step which you can do. And the next command is terraform plan. The plan is nothing but it's a preview changes before applying. So what exactly your configuration is gonna create on your cloud, and if you want to preview that beforehand, then this is the command which you will run, terraform plan. So it's kind of a quick preview to check what exactly is gonna getting created when I go and run the command terraform apply. Okay, so this plan may take time. Let's wait and let's come back once the plan is ready. Okay, the plan is ready. We have the output. Now if you see, there are two resources which is getting created. Okay, now I have a resource with the name azure caf underscore name.rg. This is what I'm creating right now. The name is DevOps project, and I have a second resource which is the resource group which I'm creating main underscore rg. So these are the two resources which is getting created. That is, we know. Now the next step is apply. So provision apply is so whatever we have planned till now, if you want to apply those changes in Azure cloud, then you run the command terraform apply. So it will provision your infrastructure on cloud. Okay, so if I just go ahead and do it, terraform apply. Okay, when I run this command, it will go and before executing it will ask for my approval whether I have to go ahead with this plan or not. And if you want to skip that part, you can just simply do auto approve. So it will not ask for any approval. It will go ahead and create that for you. Okay, approve spelling mistake. Okay, it may take time. Let's hold down and let's come back once my resource is created on Azure cloud. Okay. Okay guys, so apply was successful. The resources are created. If you want to go ahead and check, this is my portal. I'll go ahead and click on resource group. Yeah, this was a resource which I was creating. So this was successfully created. This resource group was created successfully. Okay, let's come back. And later we can destroy. Destroy is basically it will go and delete the resources which you just created. Okay, so the command is terraform destroy. Okay, now again it will ask for approval. Again, if you use the flag auto approve, it will not ask for any approval. Okay, I'll not destroy it right now because there are further questions which I want to cover before destroying. So this is how the flow is. Starting from writing the configuration, initializing the folder, validating the syntax error, planning, apply, and destroy. This is how you answer when they ask for end-to-end workflow on Terraform. And there's one more command which you can see, terraform format. This is basically helps you to rewrite Terraform configuration to a canonical format. Canonical format is nothing but the different set of rules, regulation, law what Terraform has set for writing the configuration. This is what it does. If you run the command terraform format, if there's any formatting error, it will make sure it rewrites that configuration file for you. Okay, that's it from this question. Let's move on to the another part, other scenario. Okay, so the other question is, we have existing Terraform infrastructure created in cloud. Again, whichever cloud it is, doesn't matter. Now, one particular resource needs to be recreated whenever we do the next apply. Okay, listen to this question very carefully. We already have an existing resource created in cloud. Okay, and one of the particular resource needs to be recreated. Why it needs to be recreated? It could be any XYZ reason. One of the scenario I can think of right now, think of as an EC2 instance, and one of the EC2 instance status is failing. So the status check is failing. Now you want to recreate that particular EC2 instance. So how exactly we can do it? Using Terraform. Okay, so this is a very genuine scenario. You may face this scenario. So let's see how exactly we can achieve that in Terraform. So that can be achieved using tainting. So in Terraform, we have a concept called taint, Terraform taint. This command informs Terraform that a particular object or resource has become degraded or damaged and needed to be replaced in the next apply. Okay, so when you taint a particular resource, okay, so the status of that particular resource gets changed in the TF state file, and when you run the apply for the next time, that particular resource gets recreated. How exactly that is done? Let's come back. This is the resource which we created last time, and if I want to view what all resources we have created in the state file, so there's a better way of viewing it. We can go ahead and check in the state file first. Let's go and do that first. This is the state file which was created, so we can see the resources over here, what resources were created and things like that. So we have Azure CAF which was created, and then we have a resource group which was created. These are the two resources what we have created the last time. So the better way to check is just a second. Okay, the better way to check is Terraform state list. So this will give you the list of resources which were created using the state file. So there are two resources which were created. The first is Azure CAF and the second is the resource group which we created. Now if you want to taint this resource, so that when we do the next apply, this resource needs to be deleted and needs to be recreated again. Okay, so the simple way of tainting is just go ahead and write Terraform taint followed by the resource name. That's it. Now if you hit enter, has been marked as tainted. Now if I go and view the state file now, see the state file needs to be reloaded now because we tainted the particular resource. Now if I run the command, let's see what happens. Terraform apply will go and recreate. I don't want to do that for now. I'll just run simply plan, and plan will give an understanding what exactly it's getting recreated and things like that. So it's refreshing the state file. Let's see what happens. So basically it will tell you what is getting recreated and things like that. So let's wait while this plan is running. Okay, it's done. Now if you see this, this is getting replaced. This module is tainted and so must be replaced. So this is what I was saying. Okay, now if I want to untaint, so I don't want this to taint this. Okay, so if I want to untaint, I can simply go and write the command terraform untaint with the resource name. Now if I go back to my state file, the status might have been changed till now. Okay, this is what terraform taint is all about. Okay, now an important note, terraform taint command is deprecated. Okay, so instead of terraform taint, you can use the flag -replace. So this is how you can use terraform apply -replace equals to the resource name. Okay, so you can get the resource name with the state list. Okay, that's it from this scenario. Let's go back to the third scenario. Explain or walk through step-by-step process to secure TF state file and by making it readily available for other developers within the team. So for now guys, if you have seen my folder, my TF state file is getting created right over here, right in this location. Okay, this is the state file which I'm creating. Okay, now this is if I'm a single developer, if I'm working all alone, then it's totally fine for me because I'm the only developer who is using the state file and things like that. This is totally fine for me. Or what if you're working in a team and there are 10 other developers who are using the same infrastructure, using the same Terraform? So keeping it on local is not an option. So when I was taking interviews, someone said like we can keep it in a repository, Git repository. Okay, you can keep it. I'm not denying on that. But the problem is if you keep this TF state file in a repository, it contains sensitive information such as database passwords. Okay, so for example, database passwords. So you cannot keep a state file in a repository which contains sensitive information. It's again a breach of security. Okay, so what is the next option? So the better way is for keeping the things in backend remotely. Backend is like you keep it in Azure storage account, you keep it in S3 and things like that. So what exactly backend is? Let's see that. So backends define where the Terraform state snapshot are stored. Okay, so let's go and see on Terraform website itself. I'll just call it for backend, Terraform backends. Okay, the first link. So backend defines where Terraform state snapshot are stored. Okay. Now if you see there are multiple backends available. So in my case I'll be using Azure RM, but feel free to go and use S3. There are S3, there are Kubernetes, there are local, there are remote, there are etcd. Feel free to go ahead and use it. Now in Azure RM, this is a configuration which I have to use it. So this configuration will come inside Terraform block. Okay, so there's a backend. You have to give the resource name, you have to give the storage name, the container name, and the key. And this things needs to be created beforehand. Okay. Now if I go back in my cloud, if you go in my storage account, I have a storage account created, DevOps Mela, and I have a resource group created, DevOps Mela RG, and even I have a container created, TF state container, right over here. Okay, so I have this in this all things created. The only thing is I need to put this command inside my Terraform block. So I do have that over here, so I'll just copy this, and not in this file, I'll go in some other file and I'll make that changes. So over here, alright, I do have a backend block inside it, so I don't need to copy. So if you see, I have a Terraform block, I have the provider. Inside the Terraform block, I have this backend block now. Then I have the provider. Then I am creating a simple resource of creating a resource. I'm creating a resource group over here now, my GRP. Okay, my group. So previously I showed you a different way of creating a resource group using a module, and this time I'm just creating a simple resource group. And the only difference is my TF state file will be stored in my storage account, not locally. That is a major difference. So let's go ahead and run that. Okay, it's in my 07 folder. Okay, now init is already done. If you see, I already have a .terraform file inside my folder. So that means I've already done the initialization. Not this. This is the folder which I'm looking for. Okay, I'll go ahead and just run the apply command over here because init and things are already done. So when I do the apply, it will go ahead and create this resource group for me, and then later it will create a state file inside the storage account. Okay, let's wait while the apply is running, and let's come back when the apply is successful. Okay, guys, one important feature I wanted to talk about: acquiring state lock. This is the beauty of using storage account. So this state lock feature, so what exactly this means, if I go back, so this lease, it will lease this particular container. So suppose I am a developer, I am running the Terraform configuration. So this particular container will be leased by me. Okay. It's available right now because it's already done in the backend, but when I'm running it will be leased. So no one in my team can do changes to this configuration. So by this we are making sure my state file is not getting corrupted. Okay, so this feature is available in storage account. You can do the same thing in AWS also, but in AWS for getting this lease feature you have to use DynamoDB. It is not available with S3. Remember that. Even that's a interview question. Okay, coming back. So resource group name, storage name, container key. Key is something what state file name you want to give. Terraform.tf state, and over here given as dev. So this is the file which will be created. Let me see if it is created. Okay, my resource is created. Let's go inside. Okay, here we go. Dev.terraform.tf state. If you go inside it, go in edit. Now if you see this is the resource group has been created. Let's see, verify if it is created or not. Yeah, here we go. This is the resource group which is created. Great. Let's go back to the PPT and let's see what else. Okay, this is the sample for you, but you can easily go and find this on Terraform documentation. Scenario 4, explain the various type of meta arguments in Terraform and their benefits. So firstly, understand what exactly is meta argument. Then what are the benefits? Why exactly are we using meta arguments? Okay, let's understand that. So meta arguments is nothing but it changes the default behavior of Terraform configuration. Okay, so it will, if you're applying meta argument, it will go ahead and change the default behavior of Terraform configuration. So what exactly do I mean by that? Let's understand that first. So there are 5 meta arguments, depends on, count, for each, provider, lifecycle. Okay, so depends on is nothing but, let's go and see it with an example. If we close this. Okay, meta arguments. Okay. Depends on. So depends on, by the name itself you come to know that if you have this meta argument inside your resource block, so the meta argument comes inside a resource block or a module block, then it will change the behavior of that resource block. So what exactly I'm doing over here? Now I'm creating a resource over here, resource group. Then I'm creating a storage account over here. Okay. Now inside this storage account resource block, I have this depends on. So this storage account will not created before this resource group is created. So this storage account is directly dependent on this resource group. Frankly speaking, Terraform most of the times takes care of such systematic creation of resources. Terraform is very smart enough to create the resource group first, then to create the storage account. So this was not needed. This is just for example I'm showing you that this is what depends on feature is all about. But if you want to see where exactly you can use it, so let's see this. I'm creating a virtual network. Where I'm creating a virtual network, I'm creating a subnet. Now I'm creating a public IP. So when I'm creating this public IP, I have a depends on meta argument. So this is dependent on my VNet and my subnet. So it will be only created, the public IP will be only created when the virtual network and the subnet is created. That makes sense. Okay. So again, it's an example of depends on. The second meta argument, it's count. Okay. So count, let's assume you want to create 10 virtual machine. So will you go and write those configuration for 10 virtual machine again? So it's very repetitive in nature, correct? You will not do it. So how do we tackle such things? So easily we can do it using count argument. So like suppose in this example, if you see I'm creating a resource group, my RG. Okay. In this resource group, I've just given a meta argument 4 and I've given a name. How do I assign name? So I'm using indexing over here. Okay. And location East US. So when I run this is how the resource group will be created. That is what count, number of resources you want to create. The third is For each is again a loop. If you want to loop, it has a key value pair. It's like looping. So now if you see this, I have a for each, I have a key value. This is a key, this is value, and I'm creating this again. I'm creating resource group, giving a name, each dot key. So this name will be printed over here for the very first, when the loop runs for the very first time. This is what will be printed, and this is what will be created, and in the location this is what it will be printed. In the second time, this is when the iteration run, this is what it will happen. This is how it will happen. So this is what is key value. This is what for each does, looping. If you have something, a requirement to loop around, so this is how you can go ahead and do it. That is what for each does for you. Okay. The fourth meta argument is provider. We already know, we have seen the provider so many times now. Provider is nothing but which cloud platform you want to use, where exactly you want to deploy your resources, where you want to create your resources. So which provider plugins you want to use. So as of now, I'm using Azure RM, and this sorry, not that. So this is the provider block, my mistake. So this is where you're telling the Terraform that I want to use Azure Cloud Provider plugins. So this is where the provider blocks comes in. You can have multiple features added inside this provider block. Okay. Okay guys, so let's see the last meta argument, that's lifecycle. For viewing lifecycle, let's go on Google and look for Terraform meta arguments. And inside this, go in resources, meta argument, then you get lifecycle over here. Okay. So lifecycle, there are multiple syntax and you can use. So one of the argument I'm using is lifecycle create before destroy. What exactly this is used for? Let's understand that. Okay. So by default, what is the default nature of Terraform? It must update in place if there are some changes what they're doing, update in place. But Terraform will insist destroy the existing object. Okay, so if it's not able to update in place, then it will go and destroy that object and then create a new replacement object for you. So sometimes it may work, sometimes it may not work for you. So that is the place where you will apply lifecycle. So lifecycle, if you're applying a create underscore before destroy lifecycle, this is one of the meta argument. It will make sure that that particular resources is created first, then only it is destroyed. So you'll say why it is needed. If it's destroying and recreating, what is the issue of creating it first and destroying? Just think from the production perspective. There is a resource which is on which your production is dependent, and if you're deleting it, then for that particular time, that moment of time, your production is down. So create it first, replace it, then delete the resource. That is what lifecycle does for you. It may work for you, it may not work for you, depending upon the scenario. There are other parameters also, prevent, destroy, and things like that. Okay, go ahead and look on this page and see what more information you can get. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. And for the life cycle, I have an example over here. I'm creating a resource group, but I'm making sure the resource group is created. I'm using this particular meta argument, create underscore before destroy equal to true. It's boolean. Okay, true or false, you can do it. So this is, my case is an existing resource. So what it will do, it will create a new one for me, then it will go and delete. Okay, that is the typical behavior. Again, you will not use this meta argument for such a small resource group creation. There would be a different scenario wherein you will be using this meta argument. This is just an example which I'm giving right now, how to use it. Coming back, next question. Who creates the Terraform TF state .backup file, and under which scenario it is created? Very important question. So if you guys have noticed, when you are working with Terraform, there is a file which gets created, Terraform TF state backup. This file is automatically created by Terraform when you run the command Terraform destroy. So that is the reason I have not ran the command Terraform destroy prior, which is I will go ahead and do it now. So what exactly this file is for? Okay, So this will help you to restore the infrastructure to the same state prior running the Terraform destroy command. The state what it was before running the destroy command, it will take you back to that particular state. So this is something, again, a file gets created automatically by Terraform itself when you run the command Terraform destroy. Let's go and see that. Okay, so where I am, so this is something we have created resource over here. Now if I go and run the let's see the folder first. Okay, so this state file was created on my cloud, okay, inside this folder. So let's go back to the other command. Just give me one quick minute. Let's go back to the other folder wherein we have created a resource group using a module. Let's go back to that folder. Okay, let's go back to that folder. Let's see. So if you see this, I don't have a state file. Let's wait. If you see this, I have a state file over here. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's run the command terraform destroy. So it will go ahead and destroy my resource. So there are a couple of resources which I've created using this configuration. So both the resources will be destroyed, and let's see what happens once the resources are destroyed. Let's come back in a bit because this destroy may take around 30 to 40 seconds. So let's come back post that. Okay guys, so the resources were deleted. If you see, it was destroyed completely. So if I go and check on my portal, I'll not find those resources now. But my point is, let's go and see. Okay, here we go guys. So we have a terraform.tf backup file created. What exactly is there in that file? Let's go and see. So this was created just now. Okay, so it's very similar to what we saw in the state file previously. So this is what it is there. So it's a backup, a state file backup file gets created automatically. And if I go and view in the state file, it will have nothing inside it now. No resources because it's deleted. So now in case you have done it wrongly, and if you want to restore it back to the same state, delete the state file, rename it to terraform.tf state, and run the command apply. So your resources will be created again. Okay, now this state file, the tf state.backup file gets created in case of taint. So when we run the command terraform taint, even in that case, because you're changing the state file, so a backup file gets created. So whenever you do a changes in the state file, you will find this backup file getting created automatically. Okay, so I think that's it from today. So do let me know in the comment box, how did you like the session, and if you want some more topics to be covered, some more tools to be covered like Docker, Kubernetes, do let me know. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye.